President Obama spoke at Northwestern University. He said his pep talk was not going to be a political speech. Moments later, though, he took a swipe at Fox News. Here's what he said.
There's a reason fewer Republicans, you hear them running around about Obamacare. Because while good, affordable health care might seem like a fanged threat to the freedom of the American people on Fox News, it turns out it's working pretty well in the real world.
Well, with an introduction like that, you know who's here. Yes, it's Brent Bozell from the Media Center Research Center. Now, I kind of know the answer, but why do you think the president took a swipe at poor old Fox News?
Well, everything. I mean, everybody knows everything this president does is political. And I'll get to that point in a second. Why did he take a shot at Fox News? Because Fox is the only one reporting what's going on with this and with all the other scandals. To give you an example, in mid-September, the CBO came out with a new report, and it said the Obama subsidies are going to go up in the next 10 years. Now, we all expected that, but no one, I think, expected that it was going to project it now to go up 800% from $17 billion to $137 billion. A, how can you say it's working when that's happening? And B, how could that not be news? And yet, ABC, CBS, NBC, none of them covered it. This is what Obama wants. He wants obedience. Fox isn't obeying. So in a political speech, of course, he goes after Fox. That's the first takeaway. There are two more.
Okay, go ahead. Give me two more. I'll take them.
Second one, this man and this administration is serially dishonest. And everyone seems to understand this except for the networks themselves. But if you look at what he said, where he says the economy is working better than before, when he says that Obamacare is working, these things aren't true. He knows they're not true. And you're getting this from every department, every agency, the Justice Department, the VA, the IRS, the State Department, the cover-ups, the lies, the obfuscations that are taking place. Everyone knows it, but the networks aren't reporting it. Third takeaway, the hubris of this man, the ego, the megalomania, it's driving me crazy. Ronald Reagan never used the first person singular. It was always the first person plural, we Americans. He talked about the nation. This president can only talk about himself. And notice what he did yesterday that I found interesting. When Obamacare was on its death legs with everything falling apart, it was always the Affordable Care Act. Now, where there's a little bit of a bump that he's gotten over, now it's back to being Obamacare. Who talks about his own legislation and his own nickname in his own name as president? I don't get it.
When I first came to America, it was the mid-1970s, and the news was the three anchors on the three broadcast networks. I've forgotten their names, Walter Cronkite was one of them. And I always used to think, I was in the news business then, I used to think that maybe they played it straight down the middle. That was the news. I think times have radically changed because the news, as presented in television news, appears to have become politicized. Would you agree with that?
Right.
That now, and viewers tend to be self-selecting. They will watch the network or the media outlet which reflects their politics.
You know, when we began this adventure in 1987, the polls showed that only 25% of the public believed the media were biased. It wasn't true. The media were biased. But if I look at the media today and what they've done in the last 2 years in the radicalization of the media, look, it makes me pine for the good old days of Dan Rather by comparison. I mean, this is a press that is completely out of control. They are, and it's not, and let me repeat this over and over again, it's not the bias of commission that's the problem. It's the bias by omission. I just gave you examples. They are covering up for this administration. This is dangerous in a democracy.
We've been talking about this on this program for several years now, and I distinctly remember a couple of years ago, maybe 1 year ago, saying maybe things are changing. Maybe the media is not so much in lockstep with the president. Was I totally wrong? No sign of any progress whatsoever?
And you and I had that conversation, and I said they were going to go down in flames with them. They are fully vested in this. And by the way, they are going to be fully vested in the next Democratic candidate, in Hillary Clinton. It's going to be a continuation of the same thing.
Okay. Oh, my, what glory to look forward to. Brent Bozell, everyone.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, have a nice day. Thank you, Brent. Good stuff. All right, nothing laughing about this one. Check it out, please. A doctor. He's wearing the hazmat suit. That's him. He went to the airport to protest the CDC. We have that doctor with us next.
Once this disease consumes every third world country, as surely it will, because they lack the same basic infrastructure as Sierra Leone and Liberia, it will devour these countries. And at that point,